Hey everyone, this is TommyNaysh here,
This is Gigabit Gaming.
and this is the G.E.S.T Podcast where we talk about gaming, esports, streaming, and technology. We got a hot lineup here today, including our first guest. Her name is Ms.Pritza. She's a streamer on Twitch, and she will be attending during the streaming section where we ask her a bunch of questions. She tells us a little bit about herself, and we get to know a little bit about her.
I'm very excited for that. I don't know anything about her. This is one of Tommy's friends, and I'm very happy to be introduced to someone new.
And then we also have some things going on in the gaming world as of lately, including the Xbox Series S and Series X. We talk about the prices and the specs of each system. We also have the Call of Duty Cold War multiplayer reveal, and we got a lot of information on that as of recently. If we move on to the esports section, we're talking about CDL updating the rules for Call of Duty. We got some cancellations. And then we move on to streaming and tech, if you want to talk about that, Giga.
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, she'll be on as a guest for the streaming section. We also have talks about Ninja returning to Twitch and changes to Twitch's ads. As well as in the tech section, we have Nvidia buying ARM, which is pretty big news, and Big Navi as well is announced and releasing. And interesting topic about Asus ROG and Ikea teaming up to do some smart furniture stuff. So that'll be interesting. We'll get into that in a little bit.
It's a lot of big news this week. It's only been 7 days since we last recorded our last episode, and all the news that has come out recently is just there's quite a lot. So we're gonna start off with the gaming portion, and we're gonna hop right into the Xbox Series S and Series X details and more.
Yeah, so the pricing is the biggest thing, with the Series S being the littler one that does not have disk drive, and unfortunately only a 500 gigabyte SSD, which is very limiting, in my opinion, for how much expandability that you're going to have, especially as games get larger. However,
Oh yeah,
with the newer generations and how the SSD tech works, games can actually be a little smaller and still maintain high texture quality. But yeah, $299 for the Series S with a $24.99 a month option that comes with 2 years of Game Pass. So the Game Pass thing is huge, and they have all the EA games in there too. I shouldn't say all, but a large portion of them as well. You get like hundreds of games right off the bat. And the Series X coming in at $499 with $34.99 a month and Game Pass as well. This financing option is pretty nuts. There's a lot of people that are going to be able to afford them that never could before.
Yep. It's honestly, the financing option is a huge deal because the entire time you're paying for the Xbox, you're also getting the Xbox Live and the games with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it pays for itself in a way because you're just getting so much out of it. But what is absolutely crazy is that the Series S is only $300. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, it's really cheap, and the spec difference, I mean, it is significant. They're not targeting 4K with the Series S. The target is 1440p, and they say up to 120 FPS. Obviously, this isn't really going to be where it's going to be hitting. It's only a 4 teraflop GPU inside. It's pretty weak, but for the price and the fact that you do get to play the next gen games, that's really nice. And you know, console gamers, like, not all of them are really hardcore. Like, some of them just want to play the new games that come out, and they don't really care if their game is 4K, 5,000 FPS, the fucking best thing it can ever look. Like, some of them just want to play games, man. They don't have a ton of cash, so they just buy it. Now, this is the big issue that I have with it, is I think the price is great. The storage is really small, and the only current Xbox proprietary drive that we know of is rumored to cost $220, and it's 1 terabyte. At that point, why don't you just get the X and do the payment plan on that, and you don't have to buy the proprietary storage?
Yeah. It's absolutely true. And one of the things, I mean, hey, you look at Modern Warfare right now, it's taking up like 200 gigabytes.
That's crazy.
So if you're downloading probably Cold War on the Xbox Series S, that's probably going to take up half of your space available. So have fun downloading 2 to 3 other games, and then you're full.
Yeah, and if you have a poor internet connection, dude, like, trying to download a bunch of games at once, like, for some people, like, 100 gigabyte download is days.
Yeah, yep.
And
Absolutely.
you can't do it all the time because then your house has like no internet. Because if you're downloading and taking all the bandwidth, no one can do anything. So normally, at least when I was growing up and I didn't have my own apartment like I do now, I was only downloading stuff at night. Because if I did it during the day, everyone would be screaming because they have no internet.
Yep. Yeah, that's honestly one of my buddies. He lived out in the woods, and he's like, "Oh, I got to download an update for Call of Duty. I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks when it's done."
Yeah, literally.
But is there anything else about the Series S and Series X that is different besides the what is it? The GPU power? That's a big difference there.
Yeah, the CPU is clocked slightly slower on the S, 200 megahertz less
Okay.
with SMT enabled. And instead of 52 compute units for the GPU, only 20 compute units and about 300 megahertz less clock speed. And you lose 6 gigabytes of RAM for the GDDR, which is a fair bit, and of course only the 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD. However, the SSD is the same speed as the Series X, so that is good because then you don't lose any of that performance benefit that the new storage mediums are going to give, and digital only, but they're both HDMI 2.1, and then of course you have the price difference, so that's kind of where you go.
I feel like it's kind of crazy that they're starting to implement the NVMe's because, I mean, at this point it makes sense. They're insanely small. They're incredibly fast. And I feel like they're still kind of coming new to the market right now. But being able to put that into a system, the load times are going to be amazing.
Yeah, not only the load times, but like we've seen things in the PS5, like Ratchet and Clank was able to load worlds, like brand new worlds, entire new environments in like a fraction of a second. Like there's a part in the game in the trailer where you're actually teleporting to different worlds and they load like instantly. And this is like full world environments that you're teleporting to in like under a second. It's crazy good.
That's the NVMe's for you. And like we said, the Series S is coming in at $299. You can't beat it. If you're on a budget and you want a new console, $299, especially if you're hitting that payment plan of $24.99 a month,
it's like
unbeatable.
Nothing. Yeah,
absolutely unbeatable.
And personally, from my suggestion, my standpoint is if you're gonna do a payment plan, $10 extra a month really isn't a lot, and it's the same amount of time. So if you're gonna do it that way, you might as well just get the better one. It's gonna last you longer. You're gonna have more storage. It just makes more sense to me to get the Series X.
Splurge a little bit.
I mean, the S, it is cheaper, yeah, and $200. But when you think of $200 over 2 years, like, man, that's like nothing. Like $10 a month, even less, like $8 a month. If really, like, you should be able to afford. Well, most people, I hope. I think it's like what if you do the math, it is like $10 a month, pretty much. So, because that's 240, so it'd be a little less than that.
I guess the real question is, Giga, are you getting one? Series S or X?
I'll be getting the PS5 probably. That's just because most of the Xbox games also come straight to PC. So for me, as someone with a high-end PC and is going to get an even higher-end PC, there's not really much of a point to swap to an Xbox, especially when all the games are just on PC. PS5, they're going to have some exclusives that I'm going to enjoy. So I'll probably be picking that up. I don't know if on launch, probably not, but a few months down the road, whenever it might drop a little in price or something's a little cheaper, or I just catch a sale, or I just have the extra money laying around.
I feel like I 100% agree with you there. I don't plan on getting the Xbox. I mean, I said that before, and I got the Xbox One X just lying in a corner over there because I don't use it, but I don't think I'm getting the new Xbox. We'll see how that goes. I definitely do plan on getting the PS5 just because of the exclusivity that's included with that.
And in 2013, yeah, when the last generation of consoles came out, like PS4, Xbox One, and all that, Xbox launched at $100 more than PS4. And that difference was huge in the sales. And we can still see it today where I'm fairly certain, don't quote me on the exact numbers, but it's something like Xbox to this date is 46 million in sales compared to the 110 million of the PS4. Like the sale difference is ginormous, and the pricing is obviously a huge part of it. just in the fact that everyone's like, well, Sony's just got the better exclusives. Like everyone's played Halo, everyone's kind of sick of it, right?
Yep.
I don't know. That's just the vibe I get off of it, and I hope it doesn't come off as fanboyist as someone who has a PlayStation my whole life and never really got into Xbox too much. But I still think PC is the way to go. And if I could play all the PlayStation games on my PC, I wouldn't bother getting a PlayStation either. So that's my 2 cents on it, at least.
No, I agree with you there. Let's take a step away from the Xbox and let's move on to the games. So one of the big things coming out very soon, Call of Duty Cold War. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Huge news, yep.
One of the things that just happened was the multiplayer announcement, worldwide reveal, and we got to see some streamers playing it, and they also uploaded some videos to YouTube, so we were able to check that out as well. And there's a lot of things that people found out about this game just by watching these streams. And one of the biggest things are the time to kill compared to the other recent Call of Duties that came out.
I haven't played much Modern Warfare myself, besides like Warzone, and I don't know if people really count that as the same game. But a YouTuber, and I'll try and get the credit for that person up on the screen here if I remember. But I grabbed their image here that they made, and in Modern Warfare they've actually have the time to kill in milliseconds posted, and it's 190 milliseconds for assault rifles, 175 milliseconds for SMGs, and 188 milliseconds for LMGs, compared to the Cold War Alpha, which is 321 milliseconds for assault rifles, 275 milliseconds for SMGs, and 344 milliseconds for the LMGs. So the time to kill is like double. And I know
it's almost double.
And you're looking at like, you know, still small periods of time, but just think of like how much latency gets people killed, and that's only like, you know, tens of milliseconds. Like this time to kill, it's crazy. Like it's so much higher than the numbers make it appear.
The only thing about this that's worth stating is Black Ops 4 time to kill was even higher than Cold War. So if you thought Black Ops 4 time to kill was really high, expect a little quicker, but not much, because I mean, for assault rifles, Cold War is 321, while for Black Ops 4 it's 355. So I mean, it's definitely a little quicker than Black Ops 4. I know that was one of the bigger complaints, was the time to kill was so high. So they did lessen it a little bit, which is good. I wonder how the community is going to perceive this, though.
It's such a difficult balance, right? Because if you make the time to kill too long, then the game feels sluggish. You can't really go on those like hype rampages, like, you know, where you just spray people down left and right, because you're gonna run out of ammo really quick. Whereas if the time to kill is so low, the moment anyone better than you or like the other team is just slightly better than you, it's so frustrating because you're just instantly dead every time someone sees you. You know, you got to have that fine line of like, time to kill isn't so high that I'm like mag dumping one person just to get one kill, but it's not so low that I'm just dead the moment someone breezes an SMG near me.
Yeah. There's times where I thought Modern Warfare's time to kill was way too fast. So maybe Cold War will be the happy medium that we all wanted. I guess it's just wait till beta, which comes out in October, right? We're going to be going into those details. Yeah. So it goes on beginning of October. So you'll be able to try this out for yourself, and we'll definitely let you know what we think once we get our hands on it.
We got news on the wild cards as well that are going to be here. I'm not sure. I just saw you highlight that. Were you still want to discuss that type thing, or?
Yeah. So the wild cards are back. I don't know if you remember them from Black Ops 4. But Black Ops Cold War also features these wild cards that allow players to change up some of the rules in the create a class to give you a little bit of different variation. And you can only activate these, or activate one at a time. So it's basically going to be your preference as to what you would rather. But there is one that I don't see why people wouldn't choose, and it's called Gunfighter, which allows you to put an attachment on every single slot of your gun.
Yeah, you get 3 additional attachment slots of your primary weapon. That's a lot. I mean, we'll just list the ones that they have here. So Danger Close, You get to equip an extra lethal and tactical equipment and start with max ammo. Lawbreaker is equip any weapon in either slot and equip any perks. I think we'll need a little more detail on exactly what that does.
Yeah.
Gunfighter, as you just said, unlocks 3 additional attachment slots of your primary weapon, and Perk Greed is equip 3 extra perks. So
that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, I think Danger Close is probably the weakest of those 3, and depending on how Lawbreaker works, that could be really strong. But definitely Gunfighter and Perk Greed, just from how they sound, are very powerful. Like 3 extra attachments on your primary gun, like you're gonna have that thing kitted like a joke.
Exactly. That's where you're gonna see a lot of videos on the perfect attachments for guns using Gunfighter, just because of, I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be the meta, especially with Gunfighter, but that does bring up a point. Will wildcards be available in competitive for Cold War?
Yeah, and depending on how powerful the perks are, right? Like equipping 3 extra perks could be huge. Like you could get some crazy meta class like that's super fast or super stealthy because you can have extra perks.
And I think for that Lawbreaker wild card, that's saying that so you can choose 3 perks, usually one from perk 1, perk 2, perk 3, and maybe what Lawbreaker means is you can pick 3 out of perk 1 if you wanted to, or 3 out of perk 2. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong on that. And it also just looks like it includes overkill, so you can throw a sniper as your secondary and an assault rifle or an SMG as your primary.
I wonder if they'll, because this is only the alpha, obviously. So I wonder if they'll tune some of these down, like maybe instead of 3 extra perks, 2, and instead of 3 additional attachments, 2 additional attachments. Because it just based off reading, it looks really strong.
And this is only 4 of the wild cards. I think Black Ops 4 had like 10 or so. So there's a lot more wild cards that we can look forward to seeing. Another thing that was never in the Black Ops series, but was in the most recent Call of Duty Modern Warfare, they're bringing the field upgrades over to Cold War as well. And I don't know if you remember, well, if you're still probably playing Modern Warfare right now, some of the field upgrades were like Dead Silence or Recon Drone or Munitions Box, something like that. And they're bringing a whole new slew of them to Cold War if you want to go over what some of those are.
Yeah, so they have Proximity Mine, which is a throwable mine. It explodes shortly after one enemy runs or drives over it, and it can be avoided by crouching. Destroys any vehicle that runs over it. So it sounds like a bouncing Betty. Essentially, if you crouch underneath it, it's literally like a bouncing Betty, where you get too close and it shoots up.
Yeah.
But if you crouch underneath it, it doesn't kill you. So that's not too crazy, because what was the last game that had that? Modern Warfare 3 had bouncing Bettys in it?
Well, Modern Warfare has it. I think it's also called a proximity mine, but it takes your lethal spot. So
does it come up like a bounce? Like, can you dodge underneath it?
Yeah, it does. It does fly up, and you can crouch underneath it.
Okay, yeah. The last one that I vividly remember playing was MW3. I think that had that, and when you threw it, it was it would go off, and it was really easy to just prone underneath it. Like the moment you started practicing, it wasn't too bad. So Sam Turret launches missiles at enemy air, score streaks, and player piloted helicopters. So that could be really strong.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's something completely new.
A jammer, which creates an electronic disruption field, disabling enemy field upgrades and degrading enemy minimap information. So it doesn't say completely removing it, just degrading. So maybe it's like a range-based thing where you get a little close and then your minimap kind of scrambles. But if you're far, maybe it doesn't do it as much. And then Field Mic, which displays a recording device that highlights, let's say, sounds on your minimap. So maybe it, like, if someone's talking in the mic or like running around or shooting, it'll like tell you where they are based on the minimap. That doesn't seem too useful because, unless the footsteps are like silent in the game, you'll probably hear someone walking around anyways. Unless the range on this is like infinite, where I could put it somewhere really far away and then still see it on the minimap.
I feel like that would be very useful if you're like a sniper taking a specific position somewhere and you throw that up on the roof, or just the room next to you, and it'll probably amplify enemy footsteps if they're coming to try and kill you, so you can turn around and know that they're on their way there.
At that point, though, if that's what your plan is, the proximity mine is probably better because it'll have a chance to kill them. And then when you hear that go off, you can just turn around because your mind just went off.
Yeah. That's where it comes into personal preference there. I guess we'll have to see both of them in action to really decide on which one is
Yeah.
better in that situation.
And if you want to get into this next one here, we have it's really big news that has never been in any of the Call of Duties before.
Yeah, so a game designer from one of the from this upcoming Call of Duty stated on Twitter recently that damage flinch has been completely redesigned in Black Ops Cold War. So you understand when you're getting shot at and it makes your gun fly up in the air.
And then
And
sometimes you luckily headshot the guy shooting you because of the flinch.
yeah,
Yeah, really
exactly.
frustrating.
This time for Cold War, it's actually just a feedback mechanism that helps you understand you're taking damage, but it doesn't affect where your gun is aiming, which is huge news because aim punch isn't going to be a thing, and you can't blame it if you die.
Exactly. So there's no more flinching up and missing your shots, or vice versa, where you start shooting a guy first and then he shoots back, but because of the flinch, he kicks up to your head, and that's obviously just beyond frustrating because you deserve to win that gunfight 90% of the time, right? So when you get like that kind of bullshit luck where the other person just gets a lucky flinch up to your head, you're like, oh my god, like that's so frustrating.
Absolutely. Um, Besides that, I mean, I guess we could probably go on a lot more talking about game modes and what they're planning on doing with their Warzone and this and that, but we'll cut it off here so we have more time to talk about other things. But let's talk about the beta opening times for this Call of Duty.
Yeah, so they're doing multiple weekends, it seems. So there's on the first weekend from Thursday, October 8th to October 12th. This first beta weekend is only for PlayStation 4 owners. So it's a PS4 exclusive beta. And then as well, early access Thursday, October 8th and Friday, October 9th are available for early access only on PlayStation 4 for people who have pre-ordered Black Ops Cold War on PS4 or PS5. And then Saturday, October 10th is an open beta from October 10th to Monday, October 12th, free for all PlayStation 4 owners. So if you have a PlayStation 4 internet connection, you should be ready to engage in the combat, although PlayStation Plus may be a requirement in some territories. And then the second weekend they have, which is PS4, Xbox One, and PC beta, crossplay is enabled for this. The second beta weekend is for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC owners starting from Thursday, October 15th and running all the way to Monday, October 19th. And it says here, if you're a PlayStation 4 owner, regardless of whether or not you pre-order the game, you can resume and continue to play the open beta for the entire weekend 2 period. So it's a little convoluted here. It goes into more depth as well. So the first 2 days of the weekend, Thursday, October 15th and Friday, October 16th, are available for early access to anyone who has pre-ordered or pre-purchased the game on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, or on PC via Blizzard Battle.net, respectively. If you're an Xbox One or PC owner and want to play Weekend 2 of the beta for the longest possible time, be sure to pre-order. This period will be open to PS4 players as well. And then you can check their website for pre-order information if you're interested in that. And then for the open beta, this, to my knowledge, is available for everyone, regardless if you pre-ordered or not. The rest of the open beta period, running from Saturday, October 17th to Monday, October 19th, is accessible to all players on PS4, Xbox One, or PC. If you got an Xbox One, Xbox Live Gold is required to play. PC, a Battle.net account is required to play. And other than these prerequisites and an internet connection, you should have everything you need to play the game. And as a reminder, the Weekend 2 beta will have crossplay as well. So it's a little convoluted, but yeah, that should go over some of the details. And obviously, if you need a bit more, you can go to their website on Activision.com, and they have the information there.
It seems like if you want to get the most out of the beta, pre-order it on PS5. You'll be able to play it a lot more than other systems.
Yeah.
But that's it for Call of Duty. So we do have some PS5 information. They're probably going to give us some details this upcoming week.
Yeah, Wednesday they have an event where they're going to announce, I think, all the details of the PS5.
Okay.
That they haven't already announced.
So that's something we can look forward to. We have some rumors here saying that $499 is going to be the rumored price for it. It might be lower, maybe in between the Series S and Series X to compete with the two.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that the PS5 can be $399. And we do have some specs here that we could go over really quickly, but we'll have the official news for the next podcast. That's true.
Yeah, I'll just run over these specs here. These are confirmed specs that Sony has said that this is what the PS5, at least the main model, runs at. I'm not 100% certain of the digital only. I don't know if it's tuned down performance-wise like the Series S, but we do have AMD's Zen2-based CPU, 8 cores at 3.5 gigahertz. This is with SMT on. The GPU is 10.28 teraflops, 36 compute units at 2.23 gigahertz. So the teraflop number is slightly less than the Xbox Series X, although teraflop isn't a really good measurement for performance for gaming. But the clock speed's higher, so we'll see really when they come out and compare. Custom RDNA 2 GPU architecture, same as like the Xbox. Memory interface 16 gigabytes. Bandwidth I think is pretty similar to the Series X. And then you have that custom SSD, which is the main selling point of the PS5, their storage space. And as well, you have a USB hard drive disk support for an external storage. However, that's only for PS4 games, not PS5 games. PS5 games need to be on the internal SSD, and they have a 4K Blu-ray drive as well.
Yeah, so and I don't know, did you mention that they do have the digital only version as well that doesn't have the disk drive?
Yeah, digital only. Not sure on pricing yet or specs, but yeah, digital only is a thing. And expandable storage isn't proprietary like the Xbox. You can plug in any SATA-based drive or any NVMe-based drive externally, either a hard drive or an SSD. But like I said, PS4 games will only be supported on hard disk drives. You can, I'm pretty sure to my knowledge, if you have a fast enough SSD, you can play PS5 games on it. I do think it does lose some of the performance benefits, however, of the main PS5 SSD, which is completely custom firmware and custom everything. So you'll never get another SSD like that one unless Sony starts selling it as an expandable storage, which might be something they can do. I'm not 100% certain if they'll do that or not, but that would be really cool.
It'll be exciting to see. So keep a lookout on Wednesday for more information on the PS5, and I'm 100% positive that it will be in our next episode as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it for the gaming section here. We're going to move on to the esports. Then we're going to take a quick break, and we will have our first guest, Ms.Pritza, on the stream for the second half of the show. So esports, we got I know we're going back to Call of Duty already. A lot of Call of Duty talk today.
Call of Duty, baby!
The Call of Duty League is going from PS4 to PC with controllers still being required. This is actually huge news because, I mean, there's a few things we need to take into account here, and that's, is there going to be regulated graphical settings that every player needs to use? I do know that it's true that the controller will have specific standards, and there's going to be a list of allowed controllers that will be allowed for CDL. It's pretty big news.
Yeah, because there's those controllers, right? They have like the rapid fire mod, so like you can push the trigger and you shoot like way faster than a normal person could shoot. And then there's like even controllers that you can flash custom firmware to, but that's more for people that are actually like legitimately cheating. So like, you know, you can do like custom firmware for a specific game that gives you a recoil macro. So obviously they couldn't use those kinds of controllers. And I'm not sure how they'll prove what you're using. Like you might have to take a photo of your controller or like record yourself while you play. I don't know, but we'll see how they do regulate it. Hopefully it's strict, because the last thing people want is, you know, people just plugging in whatever, and because it's on PC, right, it's way easier to cheat.
Another thing that they announced was the CDL Challenger series is going to be on PC, Xbox, and PS4. Controller still being required, but this is actually huge news because I can plug in a controller to my PC and get a team started for the Challenger League or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how hard it is to compete in this league, but it gives the opportunity for a lot more players to be a part of this.
It's pretty big news when you open it up to all the platforms, right? And when you make an equal playing ground, like obviously, sure, PC will still have an advantage with, you know, 144 FPS and better graphical settings and all that. But at the end of the day, you're still on a controller, and if everyone has the same peripheral, your playing ground is pretty even.
Mm-hmm. And that brings out a big point as well. Will consoles get extra graphical options to increase the FOV or anything like that to kind of put them on par with PC players?
I don't think
Kind of
the current
makes
Xbox or PS4 could handle increasing the FOV. I think your performance would dip quite a bit.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the CDL Challenger League that would probably be on the PS5 and the new Xboxes. Um, I can't confirm or deny that. That's purely my opinion. But another thing that they did state was if there is any LAN events that go on for the Challenger League, um, these will all be played on PC.
That makes sense, right? Because then everyone at the LAN, at least, is on an even playing ground.
Yeah.
Because even if you never play PC and you suck with a mouse and keyboard, it doesn't matter. Just plug in your controller and you're good to go.
I could see this potentially being an issue only because if a Xbox or a PS4 player is used to playing, well, actually no, because if this is on the new systems and they go over 60 frames, then moving over to a PC shouldn't really feel any different, especially if they're saying what is true, where um, the new consoles are gonna not be like locked at 60 frames, you know?
Well, even if you are locked at 60 and you're used to playing like that, to jump to 144 could only help you. Like
It's true.
I don't think you're gonna get used to 60 so much that changing it to a higher frame rate is gonna make you a worse player. I really don't think that's possible because all the increase in frame rate's gonna do is allow you to see changes on the screen faster. So you're gonna actually have less motion blur and all these kinds of issues like ghosting and stuff because obviously at lower frame rates there's less intervals, so when someone's sprinting it's harder to actually see them like in real time where they are as they're positioned to the server compared to a higher frame rate, right? So you could make I think this is a loose argument, but you can make the argument that a person that's so used to 60 FPS is so used to leading their targets at 60 FPS that they couldn't do it as well on 144. But I think that's such a loose, poor argument that the moment you get used to 144 after like an hour, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know how I ever stayed at 60.
Yeah, they're gonna be sad going back to their lower frames if that's the case for the newer systems. Actually leaving Call of Duty now. I don't know if we're coming back or not. I don't think we are. But moving on to CSGO here, and this is kind of pretty big news. The ESL 1 Rio Major, which was set to go on in November of this year, is canceled due to coronavirus concerns. This major was in Brazil, which is the third worst country by number of reported cases of coronavirus, with United States and India leading that charge. Like I said, it was set to take place in November, and this cancellation means that there won't be a single Counter-Strike major this year. And the last time that happened was in 2013.
Yeah, CSGO is a huge esport. Like, there's only a handful of esports that are bigger than it, like League of Legends being one. I think Dota is bigger than CSGO. But
I think so. I would say that.
It's definitely top 5, like CSGO for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely the number one out of any shooter. I would assume that that's a competitive game.
That's definitely true, yeah.
I mean, Counter-Strike's been going on for a long time, and it's continued to have the support it has. With these majors being canceled, it gives a little bit of less entertainment value for people to watch. But in the end, CSGO is always going to exist. There's always going to be other tournaments going on, whether it's online or not. And hopefully they'll be back for 2021, get 2 more majors going.
Yeah, or maybe they'll even do 3 if they're going to miss these ones, right? So
yeah, there's a chance that they can double it up next year and just bring it all back.
Yeah. I think now we can take a break here, and we're gonna get into streaming here in a bit. This break will be seamless for you folks listening, but yeah, don't worry, we'll be back in just 1 second.
All right, so we are back here at the G.E.S.T Podcast. We have our guest here, Ms.Pritza.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Okay, I am Ms.Pritza. Let's see. I got
Saying your
my
name
name. I got my name from a show on Adult Swim. It's called Check It Out. I think it's with Steve Brule or
Steve
Dr.
Brule.
Brule. Yeah, so it's John C. O'Reilly. It's on Cartoon Network Adult Swim. It's really funny. And there's a segment where he brings in his brother, his twin brother, to interview him, and he asks him what his favorite food is. And his twin brother does this thing where he throws an R into the word. So he asked, what's your favorite food? Instead of saying pizza, he said pizza. And like instead of saying skateboard, he says scrapeboard. So for some reason, it was an inside joke and it just stuck with me. And I kept it all these years. And then when I made a Twitch, actually, no, yeah, I actually had my name as that since I made a Twitch, which was like a few years ago. I think it was 2018. Yeah. So just 2 years ago. But that's it. Yeah.
And if you want, just give us a plug on your social media handles right now, if you want to say them.
I'll post it somewhere on the screen, anywhere, somewhere, so people can see.
Yeah. So I stream on Twitch, obviously. But yeah.
Twitch.tv/Ms.Pritza, right?
Twitch.tv/Ms.Pritza, Pritza. And then it's the same on everything else.
Like Twitter and Instagram and all that
yes.
stuff? Okay.
Twitter, Instagram. I don't do YouTube. Maybe in the future. I should probably claim the name, but I'll do that later.
There you go. Get it claimed before this episode goes live or someone will do it.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, I know. I gotta jump on it.
Okay, so we do have some questions for you, actually. First and foremost, what made you decide that you wanted to stream?
Okay, so I started off on Twitch watching Ninja and just watching mostly Fortnite for the most part. And then I've been a huge fan of Andy Milonakis for years, like since elementary school. We would watch his show on MTV. Every day at school, we'd come and we'd talk about the episode and just like we would memorize the lines. And so I would watch Andy because he's been streaming on Twitch doing IRL for years. And I don't know what it is, but I just could watch him for hours. Like all he does is walk around and he does improv and stuff, but he's super interactive and I loved it. I loved watching it. And I was like, I really want to do that. Like I want to be an IRL streamer. But when I looked into it, it costs a ton of money, especially if you want a stable stream. So I decided that since I like playing games, I've been playing games since I was probably 4 or 5 with like Crash and Spyro. And I've been playing games ever since. I decided, okay, well, I can start with a desktop stream and just do games. And that's when I decided to do that. That was June, mid-June. And that's when COVID was going on. So I was like, well, this is a really bad time to do IRL, but it's the perfect time to start streaming. So that's kind of how things got set off. But I would say Andy's my #1 inspiration for sure.
I was just going to ask you, do you think that you're Andy Milonakis' #1 fan?
I do. I think I'm one of them for sure. I'm actually VIP in his chat, which like,
oh, wow.
The day I'm always in there. Like anytime he goes live, I will put it up. But he has a lot of fans. He has so many fans. So I don't know. I can't say I'm at the top of the list, but I
pretty close.
I do support the shit out of him. So also bad words. Yes, no.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. I did notice that Andy Milonakis sent you that video. Was that like one of his channel point rewards or something?
Yes. So I don't know when he added it. It wasn't there for the first like few months of the year. So I think he added it around like March. But I had been saving up my points because he didn't really have any channel point redemptions. And once I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I'm definitely doing that. And so I redeemed it. And he was just like reacting to YouTube. And when you redeem it, you have to say like, you have to type in what you want him to say. So I just said, Andy, please confess your love for me. And he's like, wow. He's like, you're bold for making me he said you're very sneaky for making me confess my love to you this way, but you deserve it because you've been here for 100K channel points. So it was so funny.
I was gonna ask you how much it costed, but 100K, that's a lot. You got to be there a lot.
Yeah. And I redeemed that in June, like end of June, maybe July, and I have like 40K again. So I don't think I'll redeem it again, but we'll see.
I was just gonna ask, are you aiming to get another video out of them, or?
I might, but that's not in the plans or anything. But I just have to figure out what I would want him to say because I feel like the first one was already good. But yeah.
So besides Andy Milonakis, are there any other streamers that you think have influenced you in other ways?
Yes. I first started watching Ninja, as I said, and I think he's really funny, but he wasn't necessarily an inspiration, but he is the reason why I started watching Twitch. So he is also like #1 when it comes to like viewage and everything. So that's cool. But as far as inspirations, like Andy's a huge one. He's just, I like his community a lot. Like he's not afraid to banhammer anyone. Anyone toxic, just bans them, gets rid of them. And his community is really wholesome. And Andy does this thing where I feel like this is all about Andy. Andy does.
You gotta tag him in this.
I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but maybe it's a good time to talk about this. But Andy is doing a show called Adopt an Affiliate. I don't know if you guys have heard, but basically he's taking like 10 affiliates a week and throwing them in a show. And you can apply. All the information is on his Discord, but you apply, you do like a little 1-minute highlight video, send it in, and then they pick 10 affiliates, and basically they go through a contest. His mods help him choose the winners. He also has a huge input. I think his mods have like 25, chat has 25, Andy has 25. So it's pretty like evenly split on who wins, but chat has like the final say on the bottom two. And then what he does once they win is he'll host them for a week. He collabs with them, and he's just all about like helping small streamers, which I really appreciate. And I see other big streamers do that as well, because he has them on as guests. So like he has like Ms.Pritza. He had Ms.Pritza on, and I was really surprised because Ms.Pritza's such a dickhead, but Ms.Pritza actually like took one of the contestants like under his wing after like cussing her out basically. So it was interesting. They apologized and they hashed it out, but it was really funny. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys want to do it, you guys should do it.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, and I'm really interested. So I'm definitely going to check this out.
I've never even heard of the streamer before until just now. So
you never heard of Andy Milonakis?
No idea.
He's Canadian. He doesn't know anything.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I take that back. That was mean. So you are saying that Ninja brought you into the streaming world? He
brought me into the Twitch world, 100%.
Okay, Twitch world.
But as far as streamers, I'm just going to glance at my list really quick. It's mostly Andy. Like, it's mostly Andy. He interacts with his chat. It doesn't matter how big he is. He's willing to help out. Like, he doesn't think he's better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really think of any other influences. There's a lot of streamers I watch for just pure entertainment, but I can't say that they're exactly influences. No, I think that's it. It's just Andy.
Okay. It's a good answer, though. I remember watching Andy a long time ago when I was younger, and I even remember going on the Xbox Marketplace and buying singular episodes with like the Microsoft points that I had just to rewatch them over and over and over again.
Wow. It was a good show.
It was. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it too. It was my favorite.
We definitely got to link you an episode or two just so you can see what the hell we're talking about.
Please, yes.
It's insane to begin with, but
we got to send you some clips for sure.
But moving on to the next question here, and I have to ask you this one, but what made you want to do a sleeping stream?
Okay, so the sleep stream, I'm so like fascinated by the whole concept of it. I feel like it alarms a lot of people, just the word sleep stream. Like I feel like a lot of people just don't know what to expect, or they just automatically assume it's like something weird. And it is weird. But basically, I think the first time I heard about it, I saw a big streamer do it. And that her name's Amaranth. And I was literally just browsing and she like was there, but she was asleep. I was like, what is going on? So I clicked it and she was just sleeping. That's it. That's all it was. And like chat was like donating like crazy. And I was like, whoa, what? Like how? But obviously she's huge. But there was another time where I think some random guy, I was browsing, just chatting. I go from like lowest viewers to highest. And I came up on him and he was awake, but he was doing a sleep stream. And I looked at all of his like little, I guess you could say like special effects, like all the different features that he had with his sleep stream. And they were torturing the crap out of him. Like his chat was all TTS. He had like, yeah, like every message was TTS.
That's crazy.
Quick ban.
And yeah, and there was only, so he had like 100 viewers or so, but there was only 1 or 2 people who you could tell probably frequent his streams that were chatting. And so I was so entertained. I was just watching them torture this kid. But he loved it. He was like into it. And I think that every time someone would donate bits, it was just like this super based song that would come on and it would wake him up and he would just like throw his pillow. Like it was funny. It was just pure entertainment. And I know if I did a sleep stream, I probably wouldn't sleep, maybe for like a few hours, but it seems like a good idea. I did have it up as a channel point redemption, but I did take it off because because firstly, I only stream once a week. Secondly, people are not going to have enough points, especially for me only streaming once a week. Especially since I only stream like 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. So I said,
did she get silent for you, Tommy?
Yeah, we lost you here. So we got some elevator music to play quick?
Yeah, I'll get the copyright music on so this gets hit off.
Copyright free.
I don't have any. Oh wait.
Oh.
I was. Oh no.
Whatever you just did had it.
It like made noise.
Is it like a wire or something that might be loose plugged into it, or?
This is
okay.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So where did I leave off? Oh, so I had it as a channel point redemption, but I took it off because I only stream for a bit. Shoot, I lost my.
You said you only stream for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, so basically I decided that I would just make this like mental time in my head of when I'm gonna do it, but it's not really something that I think I'm gonna do yet. I think I'm gonna wait till I have like a larger viewing just so it's more entertaining, because I feel like the community I have now, like some will participate, but I feel like some will be like, this is weird. I don't want to like, I don't want to be seen in the stream. You know what I mean? So, but I do want to turn on TTS. I want everything on. Like it's for me, I think it's fun. And I would take like a really long nap. Like I'd make sure I'm prepared to stay awake just in case. But yeah, I've seen a lot of different sleep streams and they look really entertaining. So that's kind of why I wanted to do it. I don't know. It's interesting.
I did notice that you basically, it seems like you almost started preparing yourself in a way, because all the channel point rewards you have just make really loud noises on your stream. So
yeah,
you have some golden ones in there. There's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, I added, I added a bunch. There's a program called Trigger Fire. And basically you just have all your sound clips, your MP3 clips, And then you just upload them to Triggerfire. And then from there, you just go into your Streamlabs, connect the two, and then you add it as a browser to your stream.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah, it's a browser source and you just place it and it's invisible. Nothing pops up. It just plays the sounds. But then you have to integrate it with channel points, which you do through Triggerfire. But it's pretty simple. I actually was surprised at how simple it was. But the sleep stream was a influence on doing all that because I did want to try to like dip my feet in and see how that would be.
Yeah.
But I also saw other small streamers who have like different noise channel point redemptions or just like they have just commands. And I thought that was really cool. So I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want that to be a part of my stream. Anything to get chat more interactive is, in my opinion, a really good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I remember going into your stream last time you were streaming last week sometime.
Yeah.
And everybody was hitting the channel points. It was
I know.
it was just honestly, it was just really funny. And I can't wait to get my points up so I can do some more of those.
Yep, go for it. Spam them. That's the problem though, is if they're spammed, they get overlooked. Like I'll have to manually play them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And last but not least, with the sleeping part here, are you worried about any type of potential punishment from Twitch? Because I know they are pretty strict on the sleeping on stream rules, but
yeah, they definitely don't want people doing it.
Yeah. I think that it's more just like they feel like since the streamer's sleeping, there's not much control with the stream, so things can go wrong, especially in chat. But I am not worried. Someone mentioned to me that there's a rule about not being like, you can't be asleep for more than a certain amount of time on stream. And I didn't even know that. Like, I would have done plenty of research before the actual stream, way more than I've already done, but I didn't know that detail. So that was a really good thing for me to find out about.
Well,
but that's
to cut you off a little, sorry,
Yeah.
but at all times you're supposed to be able to moderate your own chat. So,
Yeah.
like, if someone does say something really bad in chat and I don't punish them, I could actually get in trouble for it. So, if you're asleep and someone does do something bad, you're obviously not able to moderate it, so that fault goes on to you.
You're gonna have to schedule some mods
for
100%. your
100%.
sleep stream.
Yeah.
I got you from this time to this time. And...
Yeah.
Oh, we lost you again.
She's doing that lip sync thing again. Thinks it's so funny. Quality content for the audio-only listeners right here.
It's okay, we can edit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to edit this, though.
I don't know why it cuts out. Okay, so I actually talked to my mods, and he's like, I'll support whatever you do, but he's like, he was a bit cautious about it. Like, a lot of people just think it's like a scary thing, but I don't see it that way. But I would 100%, I discussed with him, I was like, first of all, I would need more mods. I would make sure that they're there at certain times, even if I had to pay them, like it's worth that risk. But yeah, I would try to make sure that everything's perfectly fine. I don't have anything against TOS. And I think maybe I would do a short one just to like test the waters. Wouldn't go like a full 12 hours just because of that. I want to see like if anything will happen with Twitch.
Who sleeps for 12 hours anyways?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not too worried about the Twitch punishment part, but just because I feel like I would take every possible precaution beforehand.
Okay.
But I'm just going to push that to the future because I don't think I'm ready for it right this second. But it is
happening.
It's happening. Oh, one day it's happening.
I'm sure I'll be there. So we're going to kind of go off track a little bit here. This is more of a personal question for you, but I know that you mentioned that you live in California.
Yes.
And I've seen you post here and there about the fires and the smoke in your area. So can you tell us how this is affecting you?
Yeah. So when the fires started, I was living in an apartment Well, let me backtrack. I was on Discord with a friend one night, and I had these headphones on, and these headphones block out. They're not noise canceling, but they block out a lot of sound.
Close
And
so.
yeah, and so I heard literally sounded like World War III outside. I heard the loudest thunder I've ever heard in my entire life. And I freaked out and I was like, oh my God, hold on. I just heard something. And I go to my window and I look outside and I don't see anything. And then all of a sudden, just this giant like spark of lightning. And I was like, and then it was followed by another like thunderous noise. And so I came back to my mic and I was like, I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. And like I was very like he could hear how badly I was freaking out because this was very different. Like California, we don't get stuff like this. I was like, I think I'm in Florida. Like, how did I wake up in Florida? Like, anyways, that was around like 11:30 p.m. It only went on for like an hour. The next day I wake up to this news about there's fires all over the state. And a lot of them were caused by lightning strikes. So that was really weird. And I didn't expect that. We have fires like every year, but nothing like this. This is insane. And it's still going on. But it didn't personally affect me. I used to work in a town where they were being evacuated when all of this happened. So I had a lot of friends that lived there. And that was my main concern, is just like, I wanted to be there for them if they needed help. I also have a cousin over there. So I was just very worried for them and basically anyone that lived over there. It's just sad that people had to evacuate and, you know, saying goodbye to your house. Like, how do you do that? How do you just pack up everything you can in a car and just say goodbye to everything else? Like, that has to be really hard. So I just felt really bad. But me personally, it didn't affect me. The only thing that sucks is the smoke. Like the other day, the smoke was terrible. There's pictures everywhere of like just orange sky. The sun is pink. I don't remember the last time I saw a clear blue sky. But the fire that's closest to me is actually 97% contained. So it took them over a month, but it's finally like slowing down.
Okay.
So that's good. But they're in the Bay Area, it's really bad still.
So like if you were to go outside tomorrow, would you say that it's still like pretty smoky out, or?
Yeah. So the fires are pretty far away from me, but we still have smoke here. I just don't go outside. I only go outside maybe like 2 or 3 times a week since I work from home. So I just try to avoid it completely. But yes, it's going to be smoky for a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know like 2 days ago in British Columbia, there was like the worst air pollution they've ever had because all the smoke came all the way from New York and all those spots, and just the whole city was just smog. Like you couldn't even really go outside. Like the air was so bad to breathe.
Wow. That sucks.
I have a friend who lives in Portland, and there's fires going on there as well. And he posted a picture of outside his house, and it was just smoke. And then he also posted another picture of the air quality in his area. And the air quality meter only goes up to 500. And in his area, it was like 600 something. So it just flew past like the max allowed limit. And it's just crazy that air pollution has gotten like this, and hopefully fires go out soon.
Yeah, hope so.
It's not much we can do except, I guess, be aware, donate if you have the money, and
stay safe.
Stay safe. But let's go back to the streaming. I know that was kind of an upsetting topic, but I did want to get your take on it.
Yeah.
So going back to streaming, what are some ways that you promote yourself, and what do you find works the most?
Well, that's a good question. You're asking the wrong streamer. So my brand is Scuffed. That's how Andy is, and I like it. I like how he live edits on stream. I think it's hilarious. Sometimes it's frustrating because he'll open his Streamlabs or his his dashboard on stream, and it starts to turn into this inception of his own stream, and it's frustrating because I'm like, Andy, come on, dude, get it together. Like, he'll leave it on there for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? It's funny though. So I don't want to be that scuffed, but I am not perfect. I am not technologically advanced. I don't know a lot about a lot of like tech things. So I'm not gonna, I can learn and I want to learn and I'm going to learn, but I can't be like this perfect streamer. So I kind of just take the opposite and run with it. So I'm scuffed. That's me, scuffed Pritz. So sorry, what was the question? Oh, how do I brand? Or how do I market? So with that being said, I'm scuffed in that aspect as well. So I think the first, I would say the first way I started kind of like getting my name out there, getting myself out there was Twitter. Twitter is like,
yeah, big.
That's the haven right there. That's the gold mine. I really enjoy like supporting people. So I went to Twitter, and what better way to like join communities and be involved with Twitch and Twitch community than to interact with other streamers. So I would just search up like hashtag Twitch on Twitter, hashtag small streamers, and I would just like I would look up Twitch affiliate, and anyone who kind of just got affiliate, I would reach out to them and be like, oh my God, congratulations. And I would just went on a following spree and just followed and tried to support as many people as I could. With that, I met the Squirtle Squad, and that's kind of where everything took off. Like, I met all of you guys. Then the community just got larger and larger as time went on. And that's that helped me so much. Shout out to Meg and Steve and Tommy with the Discord. But yeah, no, that really helped a lot. And when I first started streaming, I did tweet out that I was going live, but I didn't really pay attention to any other social medias as far as like advertising myself. It actually hasn't hurt me though, which is weird. To this day, like in most recent streams, I didn't send out a live tweet. I just stopped. I just thought, whatever. People are gonna come if they want. They're gonna get the notification if it's turned on. So I just kind of let it roll, and it's worked for me. But then again, I only stream once a week, so I wouldn't say that that's the right way to go about it. But that's just what has happened for me. What else? I try to post on Instagram. It's hard to keep up, but
yeah.
Other than that, that's it.
It's like a full-time job in and of itself to promote yourself all day. To like work a full-time job and stay active on Twitter and not even counting other social medias. Like, it's literally a full-time job. Like, you could have 2 full-time jobs doing this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, like YouTube especially, like all of you guys that do YouTube, props to you, because you're streaming, you're working, you're hanging out with your friends and family, you're editing, that's a lot of stuff. Like, editing takes hours, so I commend anyone who does that. Props to you. I choose not to, just because I can barely stream every day. Like, I don't think I could also put that on my plate, but I think that helps a lot. I think that everyone says it, like, you can grow with just Twitch, but it helps a lot to have a presence on other social medias, which Tommy, you got on TikTok, right? Recently?
Oh yeah, I did end up making my first video on TikTok a week or 2 ago. I haven't done anything since, which I should probably start uploading some more videos to it, because I felt like it actually went pretty well from the first video I posted on there. So I am definitely excited to put more videos on TikTok, but even that takes time. Like, it took me like an hour just to get this video on there, because I needed to put it into software on my computer, edit it down, and then I needed to upload it to the drive, grab it on my phone, edit it on TikTok. I mean, it takes longer than you think.
I think a really good way is like stream highlights on YouTube because you've already made that
Yeah.
content. So just ripping it from Twitch, and I use their highlight system, which I find awesome because if I do something funny, I can just click create a highlight, and now I'll go back and look at my VOD, and I have all these little timestamps. And I can just go through and then make the clips based off that, and then take them right off that, and then put them in. I use DaVinci Resolve and edit them all up, and put a bit of transitions in, and intro, outro if you got that kind of thing, and you're already done. Like, it doesn't take that long, and people that don't get time to go to every stream or can only hang out for half an hour out of a 5-hour stream or something, they'll go watch the YouTube video because that's 10 to 15 minutes of your content, and usually the best content of your stream. So people love seeing that because it's easy to do too. So
it's a very good point.
I think it's extremely smart, extremely beneficial to promoting yourself, marketing yourself. I wish I did have the time to do it or just had the motivation to do it. But anyone that does, that's the way to go. It's very smart. And I've seen it work for people, especially with TikTok, which is crazy. But it's one of the biggest social medias right now. So keep going, Tommy. Get those clips.
One person I commend for their TikTok videos, and I'm sure you know them, King Gummies. He posts like a lot of TikToks, and I find that like every single one he posts is funny in its own way, and just to have that creative sense of all these different things he's doing, it's insane.
Yeah,
100%.
And he has them incorporated in his channel points too, which is big brain.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
So one of the last questions I'm going to ask you is, are you planning on joining any organizations in the future?
I don't think so. So I actually had this conversation the other day with someone. I didn't know that orgs were as big, and I didn't know there were as many as there are. Like, there are so many orgs, and they're so easy to like create, I guess. And I didn't know this. I had no idea. So when I met people who were in orgs, I kind of like caught on to what that was, but I didn't really know much about it. So when I got close to an org, I started asking more questions like, what is this? Why do this? What is the point? And so when I found all that out, I think it's a great idea. I think it's really smart. It's a perfect way to network, and I kind of compared it to like joining Greek life in college. Like, they say that joining Greek life kind of networks you, gives you like a ton of connections, which is going to overall help you in your career and your future.
Well,
so I kind of look at
Great Life. Is that what it was?
Greek life. Sorry.
Greek life?
Like,
what is that? I'm Canadian. I don't know.
Oh, like fraternities at universities and sororities and things like that. They join it, and they just meet a ton of people, and those people automatically accept you. So it's like you already built a ton of connections. So I kind of look at orgs that way. So me personally, I wouldn't join an org. I don't think I would, mostly because I want to continue with this brand of Scuffed, and like I do enjoy kind of doing my own thing, and I feel like maybe one day in the future I could potentially join an org. But for the time being, I really just like supporting, and I think that I do a good job of meeting new people and all that, just like on my own. So me personally, I wouldn't anytime soon, but I'm not saying I wouldn't ever. But
just continue your own brand, get it going strong, and then decide in the future what you want to do with yourself.
Ideally, it's best when the org gets more benefits themselves than you do when you join. And what I mean by that is you're already popular enough where when you join, it really helps the organization, which gives you more leverage in negotiations if, you're actually to the point where you're talking money deals and stuff, Like, it is like a win-win kind of, for someone popular to join an org, especially like a really big org.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's going to be a bit of payment involved for that kind of stuff too.
So are you two in orgs?
So right now, yeah, we are both in the same org. It's called the Mystic Alliance, and it's a pretty strong community. We have a few esports teams that are practicing daily and such. Things have kind of slowed down a bit, but we're just trying to get some things up and going. I am also, I mean, if you look at this hat right here,
Yeah.
I am also grinding to become a streamer for Pride.
Mhm.
And so far, it's been a really fun experience. I've met a lot of new people already, and I've formed a lot of relationships off of this. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm trying my best to get into the organization, and it's been a fun experience along the way.
That's exciting.
It is. It is.
I think
Is it hard though? Like, I feel like it's so hard because a lot of people are grinding for Pride. Like,
Yeah. So it honestly does depend on the organization that
yeah.
you're trying to join. There's some organizations like Mystic that welcome everyone with their arms wide open. You know, take everybody in, show them the family, and continue on your day. And then there's other orgs like Pride where it's like limited seating, basically, where you gotta show yourself. You gotta show yourself and the community that you are who you are, and kind of make it seem like you're worth being picked up in a sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a perfect way to put it, but it is an experience to help you better yourself at the same time, because it makes you make improvements to yourself, to your stream, to get yourself more recognized and known. So overall, both are very good ways to get into organizations. It just depends on what route you want to take.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of just like getting into an org, but also just standing out in general, is finding that thing that separates you from the rest.
Mhm.
That's like extremely hard, especially with everyone. I feel like there's just been a huge influx in people streaming because of COVID. A lot of people I've met, I asked them like, when did they start streaming? And a lot of them say this year. So I feel like right now it's just so competitive. So like,
It is.
do you guys have any tips on like how to set yourself apart from the others, or like make yourself stand out?
I think like one of the most important things is consistency. If you go live at the same time every day, that'll beat out someone who's inconsistent like all the time. Because if someone's like, oh, it's like 8:30, is he like he's gonna be live? He's always live at 8:30, so they know when to go in, and that's gonna help you stand out versus someone who's like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. Is he live? Oh no, not today. I guess like they didn't say anything about it, so how would you know? Type thing. And I do think consistency is one of the most important things when it comes to like standing out, and that might not be kind of directly tied to how good your content is, but if people don't know when you're live or they can't rely on it, then it doesn't matter how good your content is if no one shows up.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
And we got Giga saying that I'm scheduled to go live in less than 30 minutes. Gotta finish up this podcast. We still got a lot to talk about, and it might be late today. But yeah, what Giga said is absolutely right. Making a schedule is probably always one of the most recommended tips to becoming a more successful streamer. And also what you said, you want to try to be unique in your own way to set yourself apart from the rest. That being said, though, those are two very, very big points on how to become a successful streamer. And I don't know what to say to add on to it because I can't think right now. But
I think too, like this is kind of obvious, I suppose, but the actual quality, both audio and visually, is huge, especially audio. The majority of people that watch streams, and I say watch as in they have your tab open, are normally just listening. Like if I'll pull up Tommy's stream, for example, I'm probably like working on something on my main monitor and he's up on my top monitor and I'm just listening. And then if like I hear something, I'll look up and I'll, probably laugh because it's something stupid going on and it always makes me laugh. But, like if your audio sucks, people are going to leave. If your video sucks, you're definitely going to lose some viewers too. And I'm not saying, you got to have this $5,000 computer and do all this and make a huge, beautiful stream, but it obviously helps. So if you can do it and you're really serious about it, having a really nice looking stream and a really nice sounding stream makes you look more serious, and people are going to come in and be like, this guy or girl, they really know what they're doing. They've taken this seriously. They got a really nice camera and a mic and everything. They obviously want to have the best quality stream for the people that watch.
And to add on to that also, like, setting the mood for your stream. And I mean, you look at my background, you can tell that I use my background for a stream. If you look at Giga's, you can tell he uses a green screen.
Yeah.
So you really want to set a nice tone / mood using your overlays and your scenery behind you. I need to get like a plant over in the corner or something like that, just to add a little bit of life to the background. But it just depends on how you make it look and how you present yourself.
Yeah. And I also think that like stability with your stream also is a
That's so funny that her mic stops when she's talking about stability. I think that audio is the most. Oh, so weird. My mic died.
Are you back?
I don't. No, not
You're
yet.
not back yet. No.
So obviously your stream's very stable when she's live. The mic never cuts out. So.
Mark it down.
Or silence right now is punishment.
Dude, I don't know what it is with this website, but it keeps like dropping my mic source.
I don't get it.
Yeah, clearly that's a problem. When I first started streaming, my internet was absolute garbage, and I would look at the VODs and be like, "How did people watch this? Like, this is torture." Like it was so bad. So I fixed that problem, and I feel so much better about it. But looking back, I'm like, how did people put up with this? I don't understand.
But yeah, I hope everyone listening or watching this podcast has learned a few things about how to make your stream a little bit better, and learned a few things about Ms.Pritza. She streams once a week on Twitch. What day is that?
It's very inconsistent. I actually did say I would make a schedule, but I haven't done that. But we'll see.
Check the socials. That's the best way to know.
Stay tuned to Twitter. I'm actually going to start tweeting because you guys have taught me that I need to tweet. So, because how else are people going to know? So yeah, stay tuned to Twitter. Typically I was doing Wednesday, Saturdays, but we'll see. We'll see. But thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. Honestly, this was a great time. There is one or two things about Twitch that we would like to talk about with you if you still have some time. It should be really quick, just like another 5 minutes or so. But what do you think about Ninja returning to Twitch? Because that was sudden.
It was. I didn't expect it. There were rumors that he created his own streaming platform, which I was super stoked to hear. And then obviously he streamed on YouTube, which was confusing, but I really didn't think he would sign to YouTube. I just didn't think that was going to happen, but I really didn't know. So when I woke up and I saw that he was going live, I was like so stoked. I think I think Twitch is his home and he should stay on Twitch as long as possible. Yeah, so I was very happy.
I liked his little teaser video when he like turned around in the chair and then like it had like the Twitch logo. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, you know? I liked it.
It was hype for sure.
And now I do enjoy watching Ninja, don't get me wrong. I know he gets a lot of hate here and there, but overall, he is a good guy. He is a good streamer. He just shows his personality, like his real personality, a lot more with like how competitive he is and such. But
he obviously he's made some mistakes on stream and said things that he shouldn't have said, but I think everyone, when they get to that level of popularity, is going to make a blunder here and there, and you know,
yeah, exactly.
It's all about how you come back from it, and you know, make sure you better yourself and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, and he does a lot. He does a lot for the community in general. outside and within Twitch. So I do commend him. He is a bit questionable at times, but I can't hate him.
No, I can't either. I try to stick up for him as much as I can because
Yeah,
I have a few friends that are just like,
yes,
you know, screw Ninja. I hate Ninja.
Yep.
But that being said, I do have one more thing I want to talk about, and that's Twitch just announced today. This was right before we were starting the podcast, actually.
Mhm.
Twitch announced that starting today, mid-roll ads for some viewers are going to be automatically enabled. So these ads are still going to support the creator and won't run if the viewer has recently had an ad break, like such as if they just came into the stream and had to watch the ads to get into the stream. But now streamers don't exactly have a say as to when these advertisements get played because Twitch will automatically do it for you.
That really sucks, because what if something hype's like going on and all of a sudden like everyone just gets an ad, or like half your chat, and it's just like, the only reason I'd be okay with this is if they removed ads at the start of streams. That's the only way I'd be okay with them doing this, because that actually removes like half of people's viewerships, because half the time people click and they get an ad and they just click away.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I would be down with that too.
Yeah, so do you know the details? Is it going to be a mid-roll ad like for everyone at the same time who's not subscribed?
Just say some viewers.
Yeah, so mid-roll ads for some viewers will be enabled. I'm not exactly sure the specifics, but it is saying that if you recently had an ad break, it won't give you one. So I would assume that not all viewers will get it at the same time.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't really use the ad break in the creator dashboard.
I've never done one either.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I think that it's enough to do it at the beginning of streams. I don't want to torture any viewers and make them watch more ads.
I mean, if I had a bunch of viewers and I was really popular and it was like, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, here's a 30-second ad to help support me, then I would probably do that. But if there's like 8 people in the room, I'm not going to run a 30-second ad when I head to the bathroom.
Exactly. That's just going to trigger people. It's weird.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
They said that they will listen to feedback and see how everything goes. So I'm sure it's going to be negative.
Twitch?
I also don't know if it's going to be enabled for all viewers or not, or all streamers. I'm not quite sure on the specifics. It was just announced today on Twitch.
Oh,
I didn't take a deep dive into it, but that is everything we do have for the streaming section of the podcast, which went on for quite some time, but I enjoyed every second of it.
Yes. I actually do have one last PSA.
Okay.
Okay, PSA. This would be like a big piece of advice to viewers, streamers, anyone who likes Twitch. I would say that you should make an effort to learn about Twitch culture. I think Twitch culture is just like, I love Twitch culture, emotes, the lingo, all of that. I think it's important to learn it because you can be more interactive in other people's chats, and it's fun. And I feel like as you grow, all these viewers are going to be throwing this stuff at you. And like viewers love to teach people the lingo and the emotes. And I feel like if you just already get a jump start on it, you can interact back with them and like know exactly what everyone's talking about. And it's so fun. And I see a lot of people that just don't have BTTV emotes or finger face. And I feel like I just wish they did. Like, I want to teach everyone that I see that doesn't have it. I want to teach them how to put it in their browser and get that enabled, because it's such a huge part of Twitch. Like, everyone loves emotes. Like, so that would be my PSA, big piece of advice. Love Twitch culture. It's fun. If anyone has any questions, I will help you do it. I will literally get on a Discord call and help you put them on your channel. Let me know. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, we're gonna have all the socials underneath for you. And besides that, it was wonderful having you here. And thank you so much. I hope we can have you back again one day.
Yeah, it was great meeting you.
Would love to. It was good meeting you. And Tommy, pleasure as always.
Great time. Great time. So now we're actually going to be moving on to the tech, but we're going to take one small break here and we'll be right back.
Breaks over, boys. So now we're hopping into the tech. I hope you all enjoyed the streaming section. That was a very good time with our guest. So we're gonna hop right into it here. So the first bit of tech news we have is Nvidia buys ARM. If anyone who doesn't know, ARM processing is in every smartphone on the planet. Every smartphone has an ARM processor inside of it. It is a reduced instruction set from x86 or your standard Intel and AMD CPUs. This makes it way less power efficient, or way more power efficient, sorry, but also not nearly as powerful as standard Intel or AMD chips. That's why they're so good for smartphones and smartwatches and any kind of wearable. So, anyways, this deal has a couple of intricacies. So, SoftBank, which is the company involved with ARM, will immediately receive $2 billion cash straight away for signing the deal. From there, it will receive another $10 billion in cash and $21.5 billion in stock of Nvidia. That stake will be likely just a bit shy of 10% of the company, so Nvidia is worth a lot. In addition, SoftBank is slated to earn $5 billion in a mix of cash and stock as a performance-based earnout. Conditions or timing for that earnout were not disclosed. Nvidia is buying all of ARM's product groups except for its Internet of Things division. So that's, you know, like your Alexas and that kind of thing. I probably just triggered some. That's really good. Which was one of several areas where ARM has striven in recent years to expand as it attempts to grow outside of its core mobile chip design business. The deal will provide some immediate cash relief to SoftBank, which has been working hard to clean up its balance sheet after a string of high-profile losses. The heavy Nvidia stock component of the deal will see SoftBank returning as a major investor in the company. The Japanese telco had previously held a 4.9% stake in Nvidia in its Vision Fund, which was disposed of in 2019 for a return of $3.3 billion. AI, this is a quote here from Jensen Huang, who is the founder and CEO of Nvidia. He says, AI is the most powerful technology force of our time and has launched a new wave of computing. In the years ahead, trillions of computers running AI will create a new Internet of Things that is thousands of times larger than today's Internet of People. Our combination will create a company fabulously positioned for the age of AI. So Nvidia has essentially put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to AI. They believe it's the future. DLSS is their new anti-aliasing technology that is huge benefits in gaming, and that's AI powered. So essentially everything Nvidia does is to promote AI development and research and new features, which they think will be the future. And I have a hard time disagreeing with them about that. I mean, everything that they've done with AI so far has been fabulous. I don't think that unless their software advancements get worse, I don't think they're really going to have a hard time pushing this AI into the future and making everything better with it. As well, we have news on Big Navi, which is appearing to be a bit of a competitor for Nvidia's new lineup of graphics cards, and people were really skeptical that AMD could answer at all, and AMD doesn't have DLSS or any of these software benefits that Nvidia does that do greatly help performance. But we do have some information that's released. As Tweaktown reports, Moore's Law is dead. That's the source. Claims that it has more details on Big Navi. Apparently, it will be substantially more power efficient than Nvidia's Ampere cards, like the RTX 3080. This could be good news, as the power-hungry RTX 3080 and 3090 could mean some upgraders need new power supplies to run. So, if AMD's goal, and this is, you know, a little bit of thinking, you know, no one's confirmed this, but if AMD's goal is slightly less performance, but they found a way to be a lot more power efficient, which in the past for AMD GPUs has not been their main forte. They have made powerful cards in the past that have generated a lot of heat and have drawn a lot of wattage. So hopefully they're working on improving this. And
yeah, I honestly think that the new Nvidia graphics card coming out are like just insanely phenomenal. It's just
Oh yeah.
To already have graphics cards coming out that are gonna beat that is just wild to me. And I understand they're competitors, so they're probably going to want to raise the limits a little bit, but still, how much better can we get?
It's to the point now where after this generation, I don't know what they can do besides wait for like new memory technology to come out. And GDDR6X is pretty much hot off the presses at this point. Like, I don't think there's any talks of GDDR7 memory coming out anytime soon. I might be wrong, or it might be a lot closer than I think. But as of now, I really don't know much about it. Big Navi will also apparently offer ray tracing, lighting effects that beat Nvidia's last-gen Turing graphics cards, like the RTX 2080. But it won't quite match the Ampere lineup of cards that Nvidia is coming out. So AMD is going to be pretty decent in the ray tracing scene, but they're still not going to be quite up there with Nvidia, and that's really no surprise. And AMD has claimed that they're taking the DLSS tech very seriously, which does offer big performance gains at ultra-high resolutions, but there's no confirmation yet if AMD has an AI alternative or any kind of software alternative at all. So if they don't have that and a lot of games start supporting DLSS, it's going to be really difficult for AMD to come back, because now, like, for example, Control at 8K without DLSS, 10 FPS. With it, 65. Like,
Yeah.
And that's on an RTX 3090. So you go from, that's like actually 6 times the performance increase with DLSS. And yeah, it is a way of, like, you know, it's essentially a really heightened 1440p that's upscaled once DLSS is on. But it's still amazing, and it still looks really good, and that's the main thing. There is also a photo of Big Navi that's been released by AMD. Shows 2 8-pin power connectors on it, and a lot of Nvidia cards, like the 3080, 3090, have 3 8-pin power connectors, or 1 12-pin on the reference design. So I think we're going to have to wait until October 28th when AMD has their launch event to really see the big news, but it looks really promising that we're actually going to have some competition.
Personally, if I were to add anything on this, I would say that I think Nvidia needs to be the GPU powerhouse and AMD needs to be the CPU powerhouse.
The way I look at it is, the better they both are, the better it is for us, because then we get competition.
Very true.
So, like, if AMD came out and their graphics cards were like, oh man, these blow, Nvidia's just going to kill us, then Nvidia's just going to have the monopoly on the market. And they already do, really. I mean, AMD GPUs don't really sell that well. They're really fortunate that their CPU side of things picked up a lot with Ryzen. And now Intel's kind of on their heels. But, you know, that's a bit of a different topic. And to end our tech section here, unfortunately, we can't dive into Big Navi any deeper than that. There's just not much concrete stuff, and I don't want to get too deep into rumors because it just might not be true. So, not really much point in talking about things that are probably false. But this one is real, and actually a little surprising. So, Asus ROG has teamed up with Ikea. To a lot of people's surprise, Ikea has already jumped into tech with a smart home division and an AR furniture app. But now it's making a leap into an entirely new category, PC gaming. The Swedish company has announced that it's teaming up with Asus Republic of Gamers division to create an affordable gaming furniture accessories with a lineup of around 30 products. The gaming range will be developed by the IKEA Product Development Center in Shanghai. IKEA said its designers held workshops with ROG designers, along with professional gamers and gaming lovers, to nail down the functionality needed for home gaming furniture. They haven't confirmed what furniture they're having yet, but we can definitely assume chairs, like, for sure, and desks. At the very least, chairs and desks.
Yeah.
30 products. I mean, I doubt they're going to have 15 different chairs and 15 different desks. So there's got to be something else here that, you know, is going to match up in the lineup.
I'm actually really excited for this because I actually thought about going to IKEA soon. I mean, closest IKEA to me is probably like 2.5 to 3 hours away. But I do plan on going to an IKEA soon so I can get some, like a new desk and cabinetry and stuff for streaming purposes. Right now, I'm just using plastic tables. They're nothing crazy, but you can't see them. It's just purely aesthetic on my part, and these plastic tables have held everything very good so far. But I just can't wait to actually get my own gaming streaming furniture. And with this news, I mean, hey, I might wait until they announce this further and see what products they have.
What I want, and I know they're listening because they're such a big podcast and popularity,
Yeah.
is that I want a desk with a built-in wireless charger that's just under the surface of the desk, so I can set my phone on it and it charges, and I just plug that into the wall type thing.
Yeah.
And
that's actually a good idea.
I want built-in RGB on the back side of the desk, and I want it to be a sit-stand desk. If it had all three of those things, oh my, it would sell like crazy. And obviously it has to be good quality and whatnot, and it has to be a fast charger. But if it had all that stuff, that would be killer. Like sit-stand desk. Like, I have a wireless charger on my desk, and literally the worst part of it is that it sticks up above the desk. If it was just like flush in, and yeah, I could mod it with like a whatever they call that. You put it on the drill type thing, like a circular thing, and you could make a hole. But then I'm modding my desk, and then I got to make like a little wire run for it and everything. If it was just built into it though, that would be killer. I'd love that.
Oh baby.
Yeah, that would be nuts. I don't know what they mean by gaming lovers. But I don't know, people that are really into games, I guess, but yeah. Anyways, that was the last tech topic we have. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to quickly discuss, but I think that was it.
I actually don't have anything else I want to say. This has been our second episode of the G.E.S.T Podcast, and we have basically been going on for almost 2 hours now, right?
Yeah,
over 2 hours.
A lot of good news. The streaming section was very good, and it took up, honestly, more time than we thought, but that was a good thing. I think it was really well done, and obviously, if you're listening to this point, let us know in the comments down below, because that would be fantastic if you listen to the whole thing. We really want to know and get the feedback from everybody on what we can do to improve things. And once we have that, we're just getting better and better and better. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, That's what we want, Let's get this going big, boys.
Podcasts air on Tuesday mornings. We are the G.E.S.T Podcast. That's gaming, esports, streaming, and tech. And we will see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.